Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night staring at the ceiling and wondered if the person you used to be, the one who moved with ease and lived without fear, is slowly slipping away? For many of my patients here in America, aging feels like a series of lessers: less strength, less sleep, and less control over their own bodies. But what if I told you that in a small cluster of islands called Okinawa, the word retirement doesn't even exist? Instead, they have Ikigai, a reason to wake up every morning with purpose and vitality, even at 100 years old. Today, I want to share the secrets of Okinawa's oldest practicing doctor. He doesn't prescribe expensive pills. He prescribes what goes on your plate. We are going to explore the daily foods that can help you reclaim your mobility, strengthen your bones, and bring back the deep restorative sleep you've been missing. We're calling this journey Okinawa's Oldest Doctor. Just eat these every day and you will live to 100. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from and what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. In my years of practice across various clinics, I've noticed a heartbreaking pattern among my American patients over 60. They often come to me with a heavy sigh, describing a body that feels like a rusted machine, stiff joints in the morning, a foggy brain by noon, and a deep, soul-crushing fatigue that a full night's sleep just can't fix. We live in a world of abundance, yet our bodies are whispering that they are starving. This is the great paradox of modern aging. We are overfed but undernourished. We consume plenty of calories, but our cells are missing the spark they need to repair themselves. This is where the wisdom of the oldest doctor I met in Okinawa becomes a beacon of hope. He told me something that changed the way I look at every meal: Ishoku Dogen. This ancient Japanese concept translates to food and medicine come from the same source. In the West, we often wait until we are broken to seek a fix in a pill bottle. But in the quiet, sun-drenched gardens of Okinawa, health is not something you reclaim at the hospital. It is something you build bite by bite at your kitchen table. Think of your body like a vintage car. You might be filling the tank with gasoline, which represents the calories we eat, but if you never change the oil or check the spark plugs, the essential minerals and vitamins, the engine will eventually seize up. That stiffness you feel in your knees when you stand up, or that sudden cramp in your calf at 3 a.m. isn't just part of getting old. It is often your body's way of crying out for specific nutrients it no longer receives from processed breads or sugary cereals. In Okinawa, they don't view aging as a slow decline into helplessness. They celebrate a milestone called Kajimaya at age 97, where the elders wear red and carry windmills, symbolizing a return to the freedom and joy of childhood. They can do this because their internal engine has been lubricated by the right foods for decades. They aren't just living longer, they are living better. As we look at your daily habits, I want you to realize that your fatigue isn't a life sentence, it is a signal. By understanding the science of what your cells truly need and how the Okinawan diet provides it so naturally, we can begin to turn that rusted machine back into a vessel of vitality. It all starts with changing how we perceive the very act of eating. One of the most common complaints I hear from my patients in their 60s and 70s is that they feel incredibly heavy after a meal followed by a sudden crash in energy. Some even tell me they struggle with acid reflux that keeps them tossing and turning all night. In our culture, we are often taught to clean our plates. But the oldest doctor in Okinawa taught me a much kinder way to treat our aging digestive systems. He calls it Hara Hachi. This is a simple ancient Japanese proverb that means, eat until you are 8 parts full. Imagine your stomach is like a gentle fire. If you throw too many heavy logs on it all at once, the fire will be smothered and only produce thick, choking smoke. But if you leave a little bit of space for the air to circulate, the fire burns brightly and provides steady warmth to your whole body. Scientifically, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to receive the signal from your stomach that you are satisfied. By stopping when you feel just about full, you prevent the inflammation and oxidative stress that comes from overtaxing your metabolism. This is why Okinawan elders often have such clear skin and bright eyes. They aren't forcing their bodies to work overtime just to process a massive dinner. Beyond just how much we eat there is the beautiful concept of shokuiku. In Japan, this is more than just nutrition. It is food education for the soul. It encourages us to be mindful of every bite, acknowledging where the food came from and how it will serve our health. I remember a patient named Robert, a retired teacher from Ohio, who felt completely defeated by his constant bloating and fatigue. I shared this Okinawan wisdom with him. Instead of eating while watching the news, which often triggers stress and stops digestion, I asked him to try eating with his eyes first. This is a Japanese tradition of arranging small portions of different colors on small plates. When Robert started slowing down, noticing the colors of his vegetables, and stopping before he felt stuffed, something miraculous happened. Within 2 weeks, his energy levels stabilized, and he told me he felt lighter than he had in decades. He wasn't just losing weight, he was gaining life. By practicing shokuiku, you aren't just fueling a machine, you are nurturing your longevity. This mindful approach prepares your body to absorb the powerful nutrients we are about to discuss. As we learn to listen to our body's subtle signals, we open the door to true healing. And that healing often begins with a simple, vibrant vegetable that has been the backbone of Okinawan health for centuries, a food so powerful it can change the way your very cells produce energy. When we think of carbohydrates in America, we often picture a basket of white bread, fluffy mashed potatoes, or perhaps a bowl of sugary pasta. These foods give us a quick burst of energy, but for a body over 60, that burst is followed by a crash that leaves us feeling more exhausted than before. The oldest doctor in Okinawa often points to a different kind of fuel, one that is buried deep in the rich volcanic soil of the islands. He calls it the beni imo, or the Okinawan purple sweet potato. For decades, this vibrant, violet-hued tuber made up nearly 70% of the Okinawan diet. Unlike the white starches we are used to, the purple sweet potato is a slow-burn fuel. It releases energy gradually into your bloodstream, keeping your sugar levels steady and your mind sharp throughout the afternoon. But the real magic lies in its color. That deep purple isn't just for show. It comes from a powerful antioxidant called anthocyanin, the same miracle compound found in blueberries, but in much higher concentrations. These antioxidants act like a specialized cleaning crew for your blood vessels, sweeping away the rust of inflammation that often causes that nagging stiffness in your hips and lower back. I remember visiting a small village in northern Okinawa called Ogimi, known as the Village of Longevity. There, I met a woman named Hana, who was 92 years old. I found her in her garden, kneeling on the ground, without a hint of a grimace, digging up these purple treasures with her bare hands. When I asked her secret for such strong bones and flexible joints, she simply held up a dusty potato and smiled. She didn't have a medicine cabinet full of supplements. She had a garden full of beni imo. Scientifically, these potatoes are packed with fiber, which is essential for our age, because it keeps our digestion moving smoothly, preventing the toxins that can lead to brain fog. They are also rich in vitamin A and vitamin C, which help your skin stay resilient and your immune system strong. For my patients who feel heavy or stuck, I often suggest swapping their morning toast or evening white rice for a steamed purple sweet potato. It has a natural creamy sweetness that feels like a treat but works like a medicine. When you nourish your body with this kind of smart carbohydrate, you aren't just filling a void. You are giving your cells the stable foundation they need to rebuild. However, while these potatoes provide the energy to move our bodies, also need a different kind of building block to keep our muscles from wasting away, a secret that the Okinawans find in a simple, humble bean. As we cross the threshold of 60, many of my patients notice a subtle but frightening change. Their clothes fit differently, their legs feel thinner, and they find it harder to open a jar or lift a grocery bag. In medicine, we call this sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle mass that comes with age. In America, the typical advice is to eat more red meat for protein. But for an aging digestive system, a heavy steak can feel like a stone in the stomach, leading to inflammation and putting a strain on the kidneys. This is where the wisdom of the oldest doctor in Okinawa offers a gentle, powerful alternative. He often refers to the humble soybean as hatake no niku, or meat from the field. Unlike animal protein, the protein found in Okinawan tofu and fermented soy is incredibly easy for your body to break down and absorb. It provides the essential building blocks to keep your muscles firm and your heart strong without the saturated fats that clog our arteries. But the real secret to the Okinawan spirit of longevity lies in a warm, steaming bowl of miso soup. Miso is a fermented soybean paste, and to the Japanese it is a living food. It is packed with probiotics, friendly bacteria, that move into your gut and set up a defense system. Why does this matter for your sleep? Science has recently discovered a profound connection between our gut and our brain. Most of your body's serotonin, the hormone that makes you feel calm and happy, is actually produced in your gut. By starting your day with miso, you are nourishing the very foundation of your nervous system. I remember a patient named Margaret from Florida who suffered from chronic insomnia and a heavy feeling in her limbs. I encouraged her to replace her heavy processed breakfast with a simple warm broth made from miso and a few cubes of soft tofu. Within a month, she told me that for the first time in years, she felt a quietness in her mind at night. She was falling asleep faster and waking up without that morning stiffness. When you eat soy, the Okinawan weigh slowly, mindfully, and often in fermented forms like miso or natto, you are giving your body a double gift. You are protecting your muscles from wasting away, and you are providing your bones with isoflavones, which act like a natural shield against osteoporosis. It is a form of deep internal strength that doesn't require lifting heavy weights at the gym. It is about the quiet resilience of the soybean growing steadily under the sun. However, as strong as our muscles may become from the meat of the field, our skeletal system requires another kind of support, a collection of rare minerals that can only be found deep beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean. In my clinic, one of the most silent but persistent fears my patients face is the fragility of their own frame. A simple slip on a rug or a missed step on the porch can change a life forever. We often talk about calcium in terms of milk and cheese, but for many of you, dairy can be difficult to digest, leading to discomfort rather than strength. The oldest doctor in Okinawa pointed me toward the turquoise waters surrounding the islands. He calls seaweed umi no yasai, or vegetables of the sea. To the Okinawan people, the ocean is not just a view, it is a mineral-rich pharmacy. Types of seaweed like kombu and wakame are not just garnishes. They are concentrated doses of magnesium, calcium, and iodine, the very elements your bones and muscles crave to stay resilient and calm. Have you ever felt that sudden sharp cramp in your calf in the middle of the night, making you jump out of bed in pain? That is often your body's way of screaming for magnesium. In the West, we might reach for a supplement pill, but in Okinawa, they reach for a bowl of dashi, a clear broth made by simmering kombu. This deep-sea kelp is one of the richest sources of natural minerals on the planet. I remember a patient named James, a former carpenter from Seattle, who was struggling with such severe leg cramps and joint fatigue that he had stopped his daily walks. I suggested he start incorporating small amounts of seaweed into his soups, just as they do in the Japanese tradition of tsunomono, or vinegar-based salads. James was skeptical at first, but after a few weeks of adding these ocean vegetables to his diet, he told me his legs felt grounded again. The minerals in seaweed are highly bioavailable, meaning your aging body doesn't have to struggle to recognize and use them. Furthermore, Okinawans often pair these sea vegetables with small whole fish. Unlike the large predators like tuna that can accumulate mercury, small fish like sardines or anchovies are eaten with their tiny bones intact. This provides a natural, easily absorbed form of calcium that works in harmony with the minerals from the seaweed. It's a synergy that keeps the skeletons of 100-year-olds as sturdy as a young oak tree. In Okinawa, they don't just eat to satisfy hunger, they eat to fortify their foundation. When you sip a warm broth infused with the essence of the sea, you are literally bathing your cells in the elements they were born from. It is a gentle, salt-of-the-earth way to ensure that your next step is taken with confidence and grace. But as we strengthen our bones from the depths of the sea, we must also look at how to protect our internal systems from the modern world's hidden dangers. And for that, we look to a peculiar bitter fruit that guards the heart and the blood. In my years of treating patients with high blood sugar and persistent inflammation, I've noticed that our modern palate has become addicted to sweetness. We avoid anything bitter, yet in the world of longevity, bitterness is often the flavor of protection. The oldest doctor in Okinawa often points to a bumpy, dark green vegetable that looks like a cucumber with a tough life, the Goya, or bitter melon. To the people of Okinawa, Goya is a cleanser for the blood. It contains unique compounds that act almost like natural insulin, helping your cells use energy more efficiently and preventing the sugar spikes that lead to that afternoon brain fog and joint pain. It is a shield against the metabolic wear and tear that makes us feel older than we are. I remember a patient named Susan from Georgia who struggled with heavy legs and fluctuating energy levels. She was hesitant about the bitter taste, but I shared the Okinawan secret, slicing it thin and stir-frying it with a bit of tofu and egg, a dish they call Goya champuru. This dish represents the Japanese philosophy of balance. The bitterness of the Goya is softened by the protein, creating a harmony that satisfies the body without overloading it. Beyond Goya, Okinawans eat a rainbow of seasonal greens, following the principle of shun. This means eating what is at its peak of freshness right now. When you eat with the seasons, you are getting the highest concentration of antioxidants, the tiny warriors that protect your DNA from damage. For my patients over 60, I recommend filling half your plate with these vibrant greens. It's like giving your internal systems a refreshing bath of life-giving chlorophyll. When your blood is clean and your sugar is steady, your heart doesn't have to work as hard and your spirit feels lighter. But even the best food needs a carrier to reach your cells, and that is why the way we hydrate is our next essential lesson. Many of my patients ask me, "Doctor, how can I stay hydrated when drinking water just makes me run to the bathroom all night?" It is a frustrating cycle. You know your brain and joints need fluid, but you also desperately need your sleep. The oldest doctor in Okinawa shares a simple but life-changing habit, the ritual of sanpin cha, or Okinawan jasmine green tea. In Okinawa, tea isn't just a beverage you gulp down while rushing. It is a moment of tea time Ikigai. They don't drink large glasses of ice-cold water, which can shock an aging digestive system. Instead, they sip warm green tea slowly throughout the morning and early afternoon. Green tea is rich in L-theanine, a unique amino acid that tells your nervous system it is okay to relax. It provides a calm alertness that coffee simply cannot match. More importantly, the powerful antioxidants in green tea called catechins act like a gentle broom for your brain, helping to clear out the metabolic waste that can lead to memory lapses. I remember a patient named George, a retired engineer from Chicago, who felt dried out and irritable. He was drinking 5 cups of coffee a day and then struggling with a racing heart and frequent bathroom trips at night. I suggested he follow the Okinawan way, stop all caffeine by 2 p.m., and replace his morning coffee with a high-quality loose-leaf green tea. I told him to hold the warm cup in his hands, breathe in the aroma, and take small, mindful sips. This small sip method allows your cells to actually absorb the moisture rather than having it pass straight through your kidneys. Within 2 weeks, George's brain fog lifted, and because he stopped drinking fluids 2 hours before bed, he finally started sleeping through the night. This ritual of tea is a reminder that health is not just about what we consume, but the peace we find in the process. When you hydrate with intention, you aren't just quenching thirst. You are nourishing your soul and preparing your body for a long, restful life. As we close our time together today, I want you to remember that your age is not a cage and your health is not a lost cause. Every morning is a fresh opportunity to practice Ishoku Dogen, to treat your food as your medicine and your kitchen as your sanctuary. By choosing the slow-burning energy of the purple sweet potato, the gut-healing warmth of miso, and the mineral-rich gifts of the sea, you are taking back the reins of your own life. You are not just adding years to your life. You are adding life to your years, just like the vibrant elders of Okinawa. I believe in your ability to heal and thrive. Please note that health-related information on YouTube is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have health concerns, you should contact a doctor or hospital for advice. If you think you have a medical emergency, call your doctor or your local emergency number immediately. I am so grateful you spent this time with me. If this message touched your heart, please share it with someone you love. Until next time, may you find your Ikigai and walk with strength and peace.